It seems like already in 2024, we've seen so many massive failures in the gaming industry. Some of them may be high profile, high budget games like Concord, like what we saw with Rocksteady and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars and fall flat on their face, or whether it's even lower profile, smaller releases, something like Dustborn. But of course, what do so many of these games have in common? The desire to push a message, whether it's in the game itself or just simply the creative team wanting to insert their own ideology everywhere they possibly can. And what gamers have been asking for is just get back to entertainment. Just get back to great gameplay, fun games that people can sit there and play and have fun with and escape the world for a little while. And it looks like we have another one of those with Space Marine 2, already pulling big numbers, consistently over 100,000, upwards of 200,000 at times, people playing this game. Space Marine 2 boss and former id Software CEO reckons the Warhammer hit is the fastest selling game we've ever worked on, which is a pretty big deal for them. And now, if you felt like the tide is turning a little bit, if you felt like some people in the industry are recognizing, hey, it feels like all gamers want is to be entertained and not have identity politics constantly pushed down their throats, well, you're going to feel that even more after we talk about the news today. The mainstream media, the mainstream games journalists, they are not very happy about this. Alleged Space Marine 2 CEO comment blasts games that impose morals. And what they mean by that is impose their own set of very specific morals based on identity politics. And it's true. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 developer admits games at Embracer made him want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. And the very interesting part of this is how he made this comment, and it was in reply to an Asmongold video. Asmongold reacted to a video out there talking about how Space Marine 2 is kind of a reminder of what we lost and how great games used to be. And in this reaction, you can see clearly Matthew Karsh, the CEO of Saber, replied. And of course, people were wondering, is this actually the guy? It has basically been confirmed. This is the CEO of Saber. This is the boss of Space Marine 2, right? Listen to what he says. Hey man, CEO of Saber here. I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had the chance to work on something which by its nature was old school. I can't even comprehend how many current games that we play these days. They're too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That's what we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Black Myth Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion. I spent some time as the COO at Embracer, and I saw games there that made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. We just want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up a little. For me, it's about what games should be about. BTFO to so many of these woke developers, these woke mainstream media members out there who are constantly pushing this stuff down your throats and saying, this is what we need to give to people, regardless of how often gamers rebel against it. This is what we need more of in all of entertainment, to be honest, not just in gaming. This is a problem everywhere in the modern day entertainment industry. But he hits the nail on the head. This is one of the reasons why Black Myth Wukong, regardless of how anyone feels about a game specifically made in China, the game itself, it's not trying to push any political agenda. It's simply supposed to be an entertaining story and great gameplay that you can get invested in, that you can have fun with. That's why it sold millions and millions and millions of copies. That's why Space Marine 2 right now is doing so well, because they rejected the notion of needing to push that shit and instead just focused on the game itself. Even the creative director of the game followed up right here. Let's see what he says. Creative director of the game here, I wrote Space Marine 2 along with Craig Sherman, Randy Begal, and Matthew Garcia Dunn. Hearing everything you have to say about the story and characters resonates so strongly with our actual approach. It's great to hear you calling the exact things we intentionally focused on. It was 4.5 years of intense work and passion. Watching videos like this makes it all worth it. It is going to trigger so many people in the media. The idea that one, he would watch an Asmongold video and love Asmongold's channel, but two, that he really is calling out so many of the bullshit DEI efforts in the gaming industry, which have led to the state of the industry as we know it, that he's pushing back on all that and instead wants people to get back to focusing on the games themselves, not all the ancillary bullshit. So the Saber Interactive CEO agrees with Asmongold, agrees with the millions of gamers out there that want woke bullshit to stop being pushed in their games and instead focus on entertainment and immersion.